What's up, guys? Welcome to another week of Weekly Wine with me, Shakera. We are still in the wonderful, wonderful world of rosé, and this week we've done old world rosés, we've done new world rosés, and now we're gonna do various styles of sparkling rosés. Now, depending on how long you've been viewing this show, this is the same background that we started with. You also know that I have a really, really bad track record for bottles of sparkling wine exploding on me. And you just wanna I knew one bottle was gonna do it. Me? You gotta be kidding me. So we're gonna begin this by hoping none of these bottles explode on me. Okay, cool. Let's begin in Italy. This is really something I didn't think that we'd see before, because this is the first year that Italian producers have been allowed to make Prosecco rosés or rosé Prosecco wines, and I'm super excited about it. I have to be honest, I don't drink very much Prosecco at all, but I don't think that they're poorly made wines. I think that they get a bum rap thanks to brunch culture and bottomless mimosas, which are almost never champagne. Fun fact, if they're pouring mimosas for you for 2 hours, they're not pouring champagne. It's most likely Prosecco, right? Which isn't bad, because there are some really good Proseccos and there are some that deserve a splash of orange juice. Tell you what doesn't deserve a splash of orange juice is any champagne. My personal opinion, you can agree with it or not. All right, so we're gonna hope and pray that I don't have an explosive situation here. And if we do, we're gonna laugh together because we've been doing this for a while now. What do you guys think? No explosion, I'm so happy. Okay, I was really nervous just now because I swore it was gonna blow over, but it didn't. So the color is just beautiful. So this wine is made with 70% Pinot Nero, which is really just Pinot Noir in this particular region of Italy, and Glera, which is the most common grape used in the production of Prosecco. I'm expecting something, before I even get into it, I'm expecting something light, something very refreshing. This is made in the Charmat method, so it's tank, it's not the same double process required for making champagne where you're aging into, there's fermentation happening, but the secondary fermentation is happening in tanks instead of in the bottle. It is beautiful to see the region and these producers expanding and being able to do different things. You've never seen a rosé Prosecco before, so I'm excited to taste it. This is actually the first one that I'm trying, so I'm super excited. Okay. It is what I would expect from a Prosecco. It's got a little bit more red fruit to it. For me, it also represents why I don't drink much Prosecco. For me, it kind of falls flat. It's just good. I guess I like a little more texture. I like a little more roundness. I like a little more depth to my sparkling wines, but that doesn't mean that this is a bad or poorly made wine. I think that if you're having a large event or you're having a big thing where you have a toast and you don't really want to spend all that money on champagne, or I think that this would be a perfect thing. It would look great in photos, great in a glass. It tastes good. You take a little splash of it, you pour a swig for everyone, you raise your glasses, and you do your toast. There's a time and place for every wine. Am I opening this just to drink on a Friday, Saturday, Tuesday night? No. It's just a me thing, though. It doesn't mean that it's a bad wine. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with it. So if you like Prosecco, I absolutely encourage you to definitely, your favorite producer of Prosecco, reach out and see if they made a rosé this year and try it. Very delicious, very different from what Prosecco is. It's a lot less, to me, it's a little bit less dry. Not that it's sweeter, but it's a little bit less dry, which I guess by default would make it a little sweeter. But this drink's like a wine cooler to me. And I think that there's a time and a place for a wine cooler sometimes. Just not something that I drink very often. Nothing wrong with it though. Really happy that Prosecco producers are able to expand and do different things and try different things with their wines. Again, I think this is really well made. It's just not for me, but there is a glass for every palate. This one isn't for mine, but it might be for yours, so definitely give it a try. All right, so this is Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. And as soon as I put my nose in it, I get happy because it's got all of the elements of champagne that I love. Because it's made in the same method, you get that toasty, yeasty, brioche butteriness that I love in sparkling wine. And you're still getting a bit of fruit. This is really interesting because it's fruit, but I get a lot of like the earthy tertiary notes, secondary and tertiary notes on there. Okay, yay, let's taste. So on the palate, here is where I just from drinking a lot, and if you drink a lot, you can do it too. I can differentiate this from champagne because while it's delicious, there's a little bit less minerality. It's a little bit less dry than your traditional brut style champagnes. So it's a lot easier drinking. So I think if you've got those friends that, they taste a brut champagne or an extra brut champagne and they go, it's a little bit too much. I actually think this style, and particularly it being from California, it's a little warmer. The soils are different. I think this is a nice kind of middle ground between folks that really find, brut and extra brut style of champagne to be a little bit too much for them. This is a little bit softer. Even the mousse is a little bit softer, so it's a little less assertive on the palate, but you still have all of that roundness and richness. It's delicious. There's still beautiful, bright acidity in there. If you have had a lot of champagne rosés, this is a little bit less. It has more fruit and less minerality, but it's delicious. This is super lovely to drink. It's a great aperitif. Pour this at the beginning of your meal or depending on the dessert you have. I think if you're having a dessert with chocolate, even though I don't really love chocolate that much, I actually think this would go really well if you're having like chocolate-based desserts or even something that's a little more savory. So if you're having something with like macerated balsamic fruit or something like that, I actually think this is a really good dessert wine as well, even though it's not intended to be. So if you haven't yet tasted a really good California sparkling wine, particularly the rosés, I think Stromsburg is far leaps and bounds better than anything else that you'll find. So if you haven't had these wines yet, you should definitely try Stromsburg. And why not start with the rosé? It's rosé season, right? All right, guys, and last but not least, we can't talk sparkling wine, particularly not rosé, if we're not going to champagne. So we have to do a rosé champagne, right? Of course. So we are going to do the Paul Laurent. This is their Brut Rosé. This is the Cuvée de Fontainebleau. Aren't you guys happy that my French is getting so much better? Okay. So these grapes are sourced. This is kind of a trifecta blend. It's mostly Pinot Noir it's mostly Chardonnay with some Pinot Noir and some Pinot Meunier. These grapes are sourced from a village called Béthon. It is just south of Epernay. I think that Epernay makes some of the most popular and beautiful champagnes that you know and love, right? Some of the major houses that produce some of the most that was sexy. Some of the most widely distributed champagnes are from Epernay. And I just can't drink enough rosé champagne. Let's be honest, I can't drink enough champagne, period. But I can't drink enough rosé champagne in the summer. I think they're so lovely. I think that they offer kind of the things that I love most, which is this beautiful mesh of texture and acid and fruit and depth and minerality and all the things that you want and enjoy in your wine. So on the nose, so here you got fruit. I'm getting that chalkiness. I'm getting a little bit of floral notes that are just beautiful. It's really like pear and stuff that's jumping out on me that I'm absolutely obsessed with. The color is just lovely and gorgeous. If you were wearing all white, I mean, talk about color pop. There it is. So the two things that I noticed instantly between champagne and other rosé sparkling wines. Champagne has this beautiful minerality to it that just isn't replicated anywhere else. And it's something that I absolutely crave and love in sparkling wines. So to me, this wine is richer. It's got a little bit more depth. It's got a little bit more texture, a little more body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. And I am living for it. I think this is the perfect complement to your summer desserts, to a light parfait, a light crepe, anything, you know, a good meringue. Okay, I'm getting hungry. I haven't had dinner yet. I've got to stop doing this before I eat because now I'm starving and I don't even really want to eat food. I want a dessert. I think that this is the perfect complement to, even if you're not having dessert, this is for after the meal. This is when, you know when you have a party and like you invite your guests and your guest know that they can show up early and help you set up. And then they're also there when all the other guests leave and it's just your guest there with you. You're cleaning up, you're talking about the faux pas the other guest may have made. This is the bottle that you guys are opening while you get that whole situation going on. Beautiful way for us to close out. Rosés, we wait old world, we wait new world, we wait sparkling all around the world. I hope that at least one of you I hope that all of you find at least one of these wines to try and fall in love with. There is a rosé for everyone. If anyone tells you they don't like rosé, remind them they just haven't found the right one for their palate yet. And hopefully one of the 9 that we reviewed, you'll be able to introduce it to someone and they'll fall in love with it. If not, keep trying. You will find the glass for your palate. Until next week, bye guys.